In the far southwest of the Pacific Ocean lies Auckland. Home to some 1.5 million people, it is New Zealand's most populous city. Auckland is the perfect base from which to explore the scenic coastline and hidden coves of the diverse North Island. Nicknamed the City of Sails, Auckland has more boats per capita than anywhere else in the world. In this city, nestled between two big natural harbours, water is never far away. Auckland's biggest landmark is Rangitoto Island, which can be seen from all over the city. As the country's biggest city, Auckland has modern malls, spacious urban parks, and plenty of culture. Enjoy breakfast in the Elliott Stables, an old Renaissance-style warehouse, and then walk along nearby Queen Street. Then head out and explore the city's major attractions. Outside the central business district, visit the trendy shops and restaurants of Ponsonby, Auckland's hippest strip. Walk along the promenade of Mission Bay and enjoy this inner-city beach. The most characteristic building on Auckland's waterfront is the Edwardian-style ferry terminal. Head across the bay to nearby Devonport and enjoy a seafood lunch. You could spend days exploring the cosmopolitan streets and bays of Auckland, but its main attraction is found beyond the city limits. Unspoiled nature. Auckland's rugged coastline with dramatic cliffs and rolling hills is simply stunning. Drive to the native rainforest of the Waitakere Ranges to enjoy a treetop walk and see more of New Zealand's unique flora and fauna. This regional park is located just to the west of the city. Nearby, along the volcanic western coastline of the North Island, is Piha Beach. With Lions Rock to the north, it's a famous spot for experienced surfers. Other West Coast beaches are equally stunning, and no matter which one you pick, they are all good for building sandcastles, fishing, paddling, and long walks on the beach. Back in the city, head to the main public park called Auckland Domain to watch the locals play cricket. It's a great place to tune in to the laid-back lifestyle that is so typical for this remote island nation. In the stately Auckland War Memorial Museum, hear the story and see the treasures of Aotearoa, the land of the long white cloud, as the native Māori people call New Zealand. Their ancestors sailed here about 1,000 years ago, and their fiercely proud culture is still very much alive today. Children will love the Auckland Zoo, where they can meet and treat the animals of the African savanna. Another great day out is Rainbow's End. Bounce into each other during fun rides, whirl around in the air, or get dumped in seconds. There are more thrills to be had downtown at the Sky Tower, where you can base jump at breathtaking speeds. If you'd rather just watch, ride to the observation platform to look straight down on Auckland's central streets. Just before sunset, hike or drive to the top of Mount Eden, an inner-city volcano, to see the sparkling lights reveal some of the city's finest buildings. Auckland has countless riches, as the Māori already discovered many centuries ago. They called the area Tamaki Makaurau, meaning desired by 100 men. The appeal is still there today, and the city's unique history, untouched nature, family-friendly attractions and easygoing lifestyle make it a desired destination for millions of overseas visitors every year. Nau mai tamaki makaurau. Welcome to Auckland.
The Mountains to Sea Cycle Trail is a 210-kilometre odyssey from the Ruapehu region to the coast of Wanganui. Cyclists require advanced fitness levels to ride the entire trail, with shorter day ride options available for beginners. Local operators can provide biking equipment and shuttle services, in addition to luggage transfers to the evening's accommodation. Cyclists can opt for a morning ride on the mountain road for sweeping views of Tongariro National Park. After enjoying a hearty breakfast in Ohakuni, riders will begin the Old Coach Road from the official trail start at Ohakuni Junction. A highlight of this section includes the historic Hapua Whenua Viaduct. In various sections, the trail merges with public roads and cyclists will share traffic. Knowledge of the New Zealand Road Code is needed to enjoy the many scenic rewards along the trail. Hidden deep in the Ruatiti Valley, Mellon's Folly Ranch offers cyclists a unique opportunity to embrace the spirit of the Old West, with accommodation featuring all modern comforts. The Mangaparua track provides a fascinating glimpse into the region's post-war life. Embodied by the iconic Bridge to Nowhere, a monument to an abandoned attempt to settle the remote area. Arriving at Mangaparua Landing, cyclists travel down the river by jet boat. Jet boat transfers must be pre-ordered and provide an exhilarating ride through a stunning gorge. For the quintessential Wanganui River experience, canoeing options with guides are available while bikes are ferried ahead by jet boat to accommodation at Pipiriki. From Pipiriki, cyclists follow the River Road. The convent at the historical settlement of Jerusalem offers a peaceful retreat. Various historical and cultural attractions are uncovered on the Wanganui River Road to Upokonaro, along with scenic vantage points to savour. It is recommended that cyclists arrange a shuttle to travel the highway from Upokonaro to Wanganui, or for a fun alternative, book a ride on the vintage Wairua riverboat. At Wanganui, the cycle track incorporates the Riverside Boardwalk and its striking sculptures. The local arts community houses New Zealand's opera and glass-blowing schools and a wealth of galleries and artist studios. The sight of the Tasman Sea signals the journey's end. North Mole Beach offers cyclists a glorious sunset finish and the perfect setting to celebrate an unforgettable experience from mountains to sea.
It's 5,000 miles from Singapore and over 9,000 from New York. Yes, New Zealand's South Island is a long way away from the rest of the world, but it's that distance that helps make the city of Dunedin so special. Distance and the promise of new beginnings is what drew 2 shiploads of Scottish settlers to the South Island's Otago region in 1848. These wild shores, fern-filled valleys and ever-changing skies spoke to the hardy Scots just as they had to the Māori, who'd settled the Otago Peninsula centuries before. The industrious Scots made their mark all over New Zealand, but nowhere is the Caledonian spirit more alive than in Dunedin. Set at the head of Otago Harbour, the city centre is shaped by the Octagon, an 8-sided plaza that's a tribute to the Scottish sense of order. Right at the Octagon's heart sits a contemplative statue of Robert Burns, the acclaimed Scottish poet whose nephew was one of the city's founding fathers. While all around rise some of the city's most important buildings, such as the Town Hall, St Paul's Cathedral, and the Dunedin Public Art Gallery. From here, Dunedin spills out in all its bluestone beauty. Wander down Stewart Street to New Zealand's most photographed building, Dunedin Railway Station. In the early 1900s, when Dunedin was the nation's commercial capital, the station serviced over 100 trains a day. Today it serves as the departure point for scenic adventures along the Otago coast and into the rugged interior. Yet its grand interiors and mosaics still sweep visitors back to the great age of rail. Just up the tracks, venture back even further at the Toi Tu Otago Settlers Museum. Gaze up into the faces of Otago's stoic pioneers in the portrait room, where dreams, hopes and trials drift back electronically across the mists of time. Just behind the museum, the Dunedin Chinese Garden quietly celebrates the contribution Chinese settlers have made to the region, particularly during the 1860s gold rush. Across town, at the Otago Museum, discover the complete history of the southern land, from the present day back to the legendary Moa and beyond. Just a short walk from the museum, step into Ulverston House, once the family home of a prosperous merchant and arts patron. Filled with exotic arts and antiques, as well as everyday objects, this 35-room Edwardian time capsule is a fascinating window into Dunedin's glory days. Retracing centuries of history can be thirsty work, so why not combine a little learning with leisure at Spates Brewery, which has been serving up the pride of the South since 1876. The brewery sits on top of a deep underground spring, so even if you don't fancy a cold one, you can still fill up on pure spring water for free. If it's too early for beer, just follow the scent of roasting coffee beans to Dunedin's many cafes. Dunedin is the home of New Zealand's first university, whose students keep the city's creative juices bubbling, from its innovative dining, live music scene, to its fabulous street art. When it's time to walk off lunch, stretch your legs on Baldwin Street, which, according to the Guinness Book of Records, is the steepest in the world. Or explore the woodland paths and floral displays at the Dunedin Botanic Garden and enjoy the fine views across the northern suburbs. Just a 10-minute drive south from the city centre is St Clair Beach, a popular summertime hangout for generations of Dunedinites, and for those crazy enough, the site of the annual midwinter plunge. Dunedin offers no shortage of natural escapes. The wildest jewel in Dunedin's crown is the Otago Peninsula, which remarkably sits within the city limits. Rent a car or a push bike and follow the peninsula's coast road past the boat sheds and shacks of fishermen, charter boat operators, and rat race escapees. Head into the hills through forests and farms to New Zealand's only castle. Referred to by its creator simply as the camp, Larnac Castle is anything but. Step inside these thick stone walls and explore lavish living rooms, cosy bedrooms, and a tower with views across the harbour to Port Chalmers. Further up the peninsula is another of Otago's most important buildings, the Otako Marae. Built on the site of an important Māori settlement, this meeting house is the hub of Ngāi Tahu cultural life. A little further up the road, the peninsula comes to an end, where Taiaroa Head and the vast Pacific's many moods meet. A century ago, lookouts at Fort Taiaroa scanned the horizon for hostile raiders. Today, visitors are on the lookout for something far more delightful, the Otago sea life. Taiaroa Head is home to the world's only mainland albatross breeding colony. Pay a visit to the Royal Albatross Centre, a safe haven where these seabirds who travel an astonishing 120,000 miles each year come to rest, breed and raise their chicks. While you're here, sit back and watch the resident southern fur seals glide by between their long snoozes in the sunshine. And if you hang around till dusk, you'll catch little blue penguins, the world's smallest, return from a big day at sea to the warmth and safety of their burrows. Once the sea spray and mists of the Otago Peninsula have whet your appetite for adventure, it's time to hit the road again. Just to Dunedin's north, stop in and say hello to rare yellow-eyed penguins at Shag Point. Then just up the road at Hampton, reconnect with your sense of childhood wonder at the mysterious Moiraki boulders. At the historic farming and port town of Oamaru, Victorian warehouses and stores have become places where imaginations run free, earning the town the title of the steampunk capital of the world. If it's total isolation you're yearning for, turn southward to a corner of New Zealand bypassed by time, the sparsely populated Caitlin's Coast. Explore Mother Nature's ancient forests and let her watery vales enchant you at Purako Nui Falls. Then feel the full force of grandeur at Nugget Point. To the west, central Otago beckons, from its historic gold towns all the way to Queenstown's lakes and the Remarkables. For centuries, this region has been a place of new beginnings, a place to escape from the constraints of the past. Today, more than ever, we need places that allow us to catch our breath, experience a little magic, and continue our journeys renewed. Dunedin always has been, and always will be, one of those places.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. All right, love you, bye.
Who was that?
That was New Zealand.
Oh, what do they want?
They want us to help people try new stuff. Touristy stuff.
Oh, cool. What did you say?
I said, no worries.
What else did you say?
Oh, I might have promised to do it through song.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Come on, Aotearoa. Do something you've never done before. There's a place to explore.
Spoiler alert, it's that place she said before.
Oh, it's Aotearoa. Do something new, New Zealand. Hit the road this weekend. Visit that giant carrot, if that's your new thing.
Or climb a mountain and drink a Riesling.
Go see the glow rooms and hit a cafe.
Shuck a bluff oyster and swim in a bay.
Jump on a horse and go for a trek.
Or maybe just do something inside, like go to a museum or a gallery.
Or visit the giant LMP bottle.
What is it with you and these giant things?
How do they do it? Oh, do something new, New Zealand. Bypass the badge this weekend.
Walk that scenic trail to see where it ends.
Go for a spin. Or find a new friend. Pull up a hangy, then blow off some steam.
Go for a bike ride and eat an ice cream.
Walk down the river and stare at the stars. Give this a go.
Try this or go here.
Blow this guy a kiss.
Have you heard about here?
If you normally go north, fly south, drive east.
Go west. Why don't we just stay here and have fish and chips?
Hey!
Hey!
Crayfish.
Cheers!
No worries.
Do something new, New Zealand. Take the leap this weekend. Change it up, it'll be exhilarating. Come on, New Zealand. What you waiting?
Wow, that was something new, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Rotorua is an ancient place, 50 miles from the Bay of Plenty on New Zealand's North Island. The region sits on a massive volcanic fault line, and seismic forces have forged a spectacular landscape right on the doorstep of this charming city. Today, those same forces continue to provide dramatic displays of the Earth's power, making it a magnet for thrill seekers and nature lovers from all over the world. Rotorua is one of Earth's most ancient adventure playgrounds, a playground in which high adrenaline adventures take place amongst volcanic mountains and rivers, where hot mud bubbles and steam rises from cracks in the earth, and where the Te Arawa people coexist with the landscape, as they have for more than 600 years. Just a 5-minute walk from the centre of town is Whakarewarewa, a living village that has around 500 hot pools and active geysers. At the Te Puia Cultural Centre, learn more about Maori traditions, such as carving and tattooing, or taste buttery sweet corn pulled straight from the hot mineral pool. To experience a dramatic chapter in the region's history, visit Te Wairoa, the buried village just a short drive out of town. In 1886, Mount Tarawera erupted, engulfing several villages and entombing more than 150 people. Today, many of those houses and buildings have been excavated, and the surviving artifacts stand as a humbling reminder of the power of nature and a fascinating window into the past. Just south of Te Wairoa is the Waimangu Volcanic Valley. Head to one of the lookouts and see the breathtaking landscape created by that devastating eruption. But from that devastation came new life, fed by the pure, primordial waters of springs like those at Hamurana, the deepest in the North Island. Although this crystal clear stream looks peaceful, at its source it releases an astonishing 1 million gallons every hour. Follow the spring as it turns into a stream and flows through a redwood forest before joining Lake Rotorua. But to really feel the awesome power of nature, jump into it. Shoot the Grade 5 rapids through the spectacular gorges of the Kaitiuna River, or take a ride on a high-speed jet boat for high-octane thrills. For a change of pace, take a duck tour, rent a motorboat, or enjoy a quiet paddle on Lake Rotuiti. Visit Rainbow Springs to learn about one of the country's most successful Kiwi conservation centres. Or enjoy one of the hugely popular farm shows at the Agridome. Back in town, take a gondola ride up Mount Ngongataha for views out over the lake. But for the very best views of all, take a helicopter ride over this geothermal wonderland. At the end of a day spent exploring nature's playground, soothe your weary limbs and rejuvenate the spirit in Rotorua's healing waters. Waters that have travelled from deep within the earth to meet travellers from all over the world for centuries.
New thing I would love to do would probably be...
I'd love to swim with dolphins, maybe even surf with them.
Wish list would be to do the helicopter ride over Mount Cook. That would be awesome.
Around every corner there's something stunning happening, and it's unique.
I've got a bucket list of hikes that I want to do, and I think this would be a really good time to do it.
Well, what would you want to do? What would you think was exciting?
One place I would really love to go to at some stage is get down to Stewart Island.
I want to do blackwater rafting, but I'm scared of the dark.
I would love to do the Route Burn track, but with all of the flash stuff, like the wine and the lodge.
We really wanted to go to Fjorden, didn't we?
The vistas that you drop into just open up. Just breathtaking.
Plateau Hut is one of the most beautiful spots in New Zealand, and that's on my to-do list.
It would be really cool to go in a forest and see a kiwi.
Taking them to the snow, that would be magical, just for the kids.
One's the Catlins. Not sure what to do there apart from wear a warm jacket, but apparently it's really beautiful.
The Catlins could be good.
I want to go to Rotorua to see those smelly mud pools.
The mountains, the lakes, the beaches, and the people, and where else in the world do you kind of get all of that in such a small, space? So
we now have the chance to see New Zealand, best country in the world, I have to tell you.
Kia ora, and welcome to Aotearoa, the land of the long white cloud, as the native Maori people call New Zealand. The country's North and South Island are divided by the Cook Strait. Overlooking the strait is Wellington, the world's southernmost capital. Trendy Wellington is dubbed the capital of cool. It's as if the fresh ocean winds bring in waves of creativity. Home to less than 500,000 people, Wellington isn't New Zealand's most populous city, but it is the country's political, cultural and culinary capital. Clinging to the forested mountain slopes that spill out into the harbour is the compact city centre. Imaginative street art, vintage shops, a hip cafe culture, incredible scenery, splendid museums, and a touch of tradition make Wellington a breath of fresh air. The locals are just as passionate about rugby union as about drinking coffee or locally brewed beer on the waterfront. Vital to the unique flavour of this eclectic urban mix is the cultural heritage of the Maori people. Te Papa, the beloved National Museum, shows how these brave seafarers made their mark in this precious land between the mountains and the sea. Telling the story of New Zealand is like turning the pages of a mystical book about a faraway land. It's a tale about discovery, ocean currents and starry heavens, and wooden boats navigating along the Ring of Fire. First came the fearless Maori people, who cultivated the country, then the Dutch, who gave it its current name, and eventually the British, who laid claim to the land. Learn more about their navigational techniques in the Carter Observatory. See and hear how the rest of the story of the capital unfolded in the Museum of Wellington City and Sea. Continue your journey back in time in the historical city centre, a jumble of architectural styles. Tour the neoclassical Parliament House and admire the city's landmark Beehive Building. From Lambton Quay, ride the historic Wellington cable car to the top to visit its original winding house. Take in the panoramic views from outside and then slowly make your way back down again along the scenic paths of the Botanic Garden. When the Wellington winds subside, the locals flock to the waterfront to warm up in the sun. Join the crowds for a wine or a beer on the wharf or a stroll along the boulevard of Oriental Bay. Take the kids down to the beach or go fishing or kayaking in the harbour. In central Cuba Street, poke your nose in a bookshop or coffee shop. Make your way around the elegant town hall, which is now a concert hall and visitor centre. The building is part of Civic Square, which is full of surprising artworks that appeal to the imagination. Thanks to their ability for storytelling, the creative locals have given their city global fame when it comes to music, literature and film. Wellywood has been the set for blockbuster movies such as Avatar and Sir Peter Jackson's King Kong and Lord of the Rings. Come face to face with some of the local villains in the mini museum of Weta Workshop on the Miramar Peninsula. From the city, hop on a bus to Zealandia, a conservation park. See if you can spot the endangered takahe and kaka birds and learn more about this area's special flora. End your day with fine dining, followed by a night out in a cozy downtown bar or theatre. Journey south to experience Wellington's legendary hospitality, clean air and quality of life. Whichever page you turn in New Zealand's distant capital, you'll discover that magic and adventure is just around the corner.
Taranaki is a region on the west coast of New Zealand's North Island, about a 5-hour drive south of Auckland. It is named after the dramatic volcanic mountain that dominates its skyline and known for its spectacular landscapes. Set against a canvas of endless hiking tracks, pristine surf breaks and world-class skiing, Taranaki is a region where nature and creativity are intimately entwined. Art is everywhere here. It's in the jaw-dropping landscapes. It's in the art trails and festivals peppered throughout the region. It's even in the bridges and on the wind. New Plymouth, Taranaki's main city, has a huge stature in the world of contemporary art, despite its humble size. Start your adventures at the arresting Len Lai Centre and the adjoining Govett Brewster Art Gallery. Len Lai was a maverick kinetic sculptor and experimental filmmaker whose work is now deeply embedded in the town's identity. Wander to the waterfront and take a look at his famous work, the Wind Wand, a 157-foot kinetic sculpture that changes with the weather. Follow the Coastal Walkway, a promenade that links the town centre to many of its beautiful parks and black sand beaches such as Fitzroy and East End. Art meets nature again at the Te Rewarewa Bridge. This award-winning bridge spans the Waifaka-Iho River and evokes the power of an enormous wave. No matter where you are in New Plymouth, Mount Taranaki is never far from sight, a constant reminder of how richly this region has been blessed by nature. Make the climb to the top of Paritutu Rock, or discover a rich diversity of marine life at the Sugarloaf Islands Marine Reserve. At Pukekura Park, right in the heart of the city, light itself becomes the artist as it reflects off the lakes. If you're visiting, don't miss the Festival of Lights, which transforms the entire park. In 1956, a natural amphitheatre was converted into the Bowl of Brooklands, which has been one of New Zealand's finest concert venues ever since. It is also home to the world-famous WOMAD Festival, the Brooklyn Zoo, and the picturesque Poets Bridge. This bridge was named not after a local poet, as the name suggests, but after a racehorse whose winnings provided the funds to build it. Conservation and a deep respect for the past is also evident in the many museums throughout New Plymouth, such as Pukeariki. Explore the interactive exhibits and an ever-changing program of events that delve into the region's history. No visit to Taranaki is complete without getting close to the powerful presence that stands at the heart of the entire region. Follow Surf Highway 45 to the Egmont National Park, where Mount Taranaki reigns supreme. On the westernmost point of the Taranaki coast stands Cape Egmont Lighthouse, which has been protecting ships from the treacherous Tasman since 1881. Drive north to Lake Mangamohoi, a magnet for those who love hiking and riding. The series of picture-perfect surf breaks along the coast lead to the dramatic rock formations known as the Three Sisters and Elephant Rock. Once there were four sisters, but the sea is slowly reclaiming these natural sculptures one at a time. It is sometimes said that great art picks up where nature ends. The longer you spend in Taranaki, with its spectacular scenery, powerful artistic legacy and epic outdoor adventures, the more you realise that the two are so closely linked, it is sometimes impossible to tell the difference.
What are you doing in here?
You're having a dream about New Zealand, my Australian friend, and I'm in it.
That makes sense. I have been dreaming of going to New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have a dream beard?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
This is my favorite part!
Yes. Everyone in here is me.
Except for Di. Kia ora, Di.
Kia ora, Di.
She's doing another Australian's fresh crayfish dream.
I'm in another Aussie's dream.
It's actually quite a complicated, complex crayfish crossover, but if you don't think about it, just pedal.
Pedal? Ah, lovely. Are all kiwis that big?
Nah, that's a dream kiwi.
Oh.
Don't look it in the eyes.
My beard. I don't want this dream to be over.
It doesn't have to be, my little hairless buddy. Just book a ticket. Come on, Kiwi.
Queenstown, near the centre of New Zealand's South Island, is the gateway to stunning fjords, glaciers, ski fields and vineyards. This idyllic lakeside city has achieved worldwide fame as the country's adrenaline capital. When the morning sun warms the earth, the fog lifts, revealing the vivid hues of Lake Wakatipu and the city of Queenstown. The Māori call this lake Hollow of the Giant, which according to legend was formed by the resting shape of a fearsome mountain giant. Because the lake's waters rise and fall rhythmically throughout the day, it's said that his heart still beats on. It's certainly true that Queenstown is the beating heart of New Zealand's South Island, providing the pulse that keeps this remote corner of the world energetic and youthful. As the descendants of fierce Polynesian warriors and determined European settlers, the Kiwis have the spirit of adventure running through their veins. To learn more about Lake Wakatipu and the region's early settlers, head to Steamer Wharf and climb aboard the TSS Earnslaw. Nicknamed the Lady of the Lake, for over 100 years, this steamship hasn't missed a beat, transporting livestock and passengers to and from the high country. Back in Queenstown, soak up the Aotearoa sunshine on a sandy beach, or take a stroll through the idyllic Queenstown Gardens, which jut out into the lake. For a bird's eye view, ride the Skyline gondola to Bob's Peak. After taking in the sweeping views of Lake Wakatipu and the Remarkables, ride, hike, slide or glide back down the mountain. When the sun gets low, head to Marine Parade and enjoy Mother Nature's spectacle with kindred spirits from all over the world. Queenstown is filled with cosy cafes, craft breweries, restaurants and bars where locals and travellers exchange tales after a day out in the wilds. Queenstown expands and contracts with the rhythm of the seasons. After a hectic summer, residents relax and slowly transform the town into a world-class ski destination. By July, the winter sports season is in full swing. Queenstown has 3 main ski fields, each with its own charms and highlights. The remarkable ski field is just 35 minutes drive from Queenstown and features runs for the seasoned freestylers and beginners. Kadrona Alpine Resort is located towards the town of Wanaka. The more advanced terrain parks and half pipes here are among the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere and meet Olympic standards. A 20-minute drive from the city is the Coronet Peak ski area, a spectacular resort offering thrilling roller coaster terrain and a dedicated learner area. After a few hours on the slopes, enjoy a hearty meal with a view. And when the weekend comes, why not linger and enjoy the park after dark? When the snow finally melts, Queenstown transforms once again to accommodate a new wave of visitors who flock to the Arrow Basin in spring and summer to taste the flavours of the high country and explore its charming historic towns. Back in the 1870s, Chinese prospectors tried their luck in nearby creeks, establishing the community of Arrowtown. A century later, the Kiwis struck gold at Kawarau Bridge, the spot where bungee jumping was first brought to the world. Even if your heart's not into taking the leap, it's still exciting to watch. On your way back to Queenstown, you'll cross the Shotover River, where the always daring Kiwis challenge you once more. Jump into a jet boat and hang on for a heart-stopping thrill ride through the river's breathtakingly narrow canyons. The Kiwis have taken their cues from their dramatic surroundings to create one of the world's most spectacular adventure playgrounds. But at the same time, the locals know when it's time to slow down, unwind, and enjoy the finer things in life, like wine. Queenstown and the nearby Gippsland Valley are home to 75 wineries. Here, vintners produce Pinot Noirs acclaimed for their purity, freshness and vitality, a perfect reflection of the region itself. Some travellers live to push their heart rates to the limit. Some prefer to align theirs with the gentler rhythms of nature, while others are open to it all. No matter what your style, when it's time to say goodbye to Queenstown, your heart is sure to ache, which is why, year after year, so many return.
If these lands could speak, what would they say? They would say, welcome. Kia ora. They would invite you in to share this extraordinary part of the world. This place, it's yours too. This land is wide open for sharing. Our culture welcomes all cultures. So let us show you around. Lead you to our natural wonders. And throw you head first into our beautiful countryside. Because what you'll find down here, what you'll hear within our mountains, our lakes, and our people, what you'll discover on your journey throughout this precious land is that you're welcome here. Make yourself at home.